Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a secret from the world of Ayurveda that might just change the way you look at your food forever. It's this idea that there's a hidden side to what we eat, something that goes way, way beyond that first taste on your tongue.
So let me ask you this. What if every food you eat has like a secret identity? One that only shows up after your body has had a chance to work on it. You know how you might eat something spicy, and yeah, it's hot in your mouth, but you feel that warmth spreading through you long after the meal is over? Well, that's kind of what we're talking about today.
So, what is this secret aftertaste? What's this hidden property of food? Well, in the ancient system of Ayurveda, there's a specific name for it, and honestly, understanding this concept is totally key to getting how food really affects our bodies in the long run. So, let's get into it.
And that name is Vipaka. You can think of it as the food's true colors that only come out after it's been fully processed by your body. It's a transformation. A food goes in one way, but after the whole journey of digestion, it comes out the other side with this new property, this post-digestive effect.
Now this is where it gets really, really cool. The effect of Vipaka isn't just some fleeting sensation. It's considered to be a lasting, deep influence that actually gets built into your body's tissues. And that's why Ayurveda puts so much emphasis on it. It's all about making choices for your long-term health, not just for that instant gratification of taste.
Okay, so if every food has this final post-digestive taste, how many different kinds are there? You might be surprised. Ayurveda talks about 6 initial tastes, sweet, sour, salty, and so on. But they all get simplified down to just 3. That's right, 3 final aftertastes. Let's break down how that actually works.
Just take a look at this chart. It really shows you the whole transformation. You can see that foods that start out sweet or salty both end up having a sweet aftertaste, or Madhura Vipaka, and this quality tends to increase kapha in the body. Then you've got sour tastes. Well, they just stay sour, and that increases pitta. And then look at this last group. Pungent, bitter, and astringent foods all get converted into one final pungent aftertaste, which increases vata. It's pretty amazing how the body simplifies everything, isn't it?
But wait, it's not just about increasing certain energies. It's a balancing act. Each Vipaka also helps calm down the other doshas. So for instance, that sweet aftertaste that builds kapha, it's also really great for grounding that airy vata energy and cooling down fiery pitta. A sour aftertaste can help balance vata too, and a pungent aftertaste is perfect for cutting through the heaviness of kapha. It's this incredible dance that happens inside us with every single meal.
All right, at this point, you might be thinking, hold on, isn't this just a fancy way of talking about digestion? And you know what? That's a totally fair question. But there's a really important distinction in Ayurveda between the process of digestion and the final result. Let's check out the difference.
Let's think of it this way. Avastapaka is the journey. It's your food's road trip through your stomach and intestines, getting broken down and mixed around. But Vipaka, that's the destination. It's the final, lasting impact the food has on your body after it's been totally absorbed into your tissues. So one is the process, the other is the ultimate, permanent effect. See the difference?
So we've got the initial taste, and we've got the final aftertaste. But what if there's another quality, something even more powerful, that can come in and just override both of them? What if a food's basic energy is actually the biggest player of all? Let's explore that.
And the answer is yes. It's a concept called virya, or potency. This is basically the innate heating or cooling energy of any food or herb. It's super intuitive, right? A chili pepper is obviously heating. A cucumber is obviously cooling. And this quality exists completely separate from its taste, but it can have a huge effect on your body.
Okay, so here's the big question. What happens when these two things clash? Which one wins? The aftertaste, Vipaka, or the potency, virya? To figure this out, let's look at a real-world example.
So let's take this herb, papali, which is long pepper. Now, it has a sweet aftertaste, a sweet vipaka, which gives it this nourishing, building quality. But, and this is a big but, it also has a very hot potency, a hot virya. And that's why it's so good at clearing out mucus and firing up your digestion. So in this case, you see both the vipaka and the virya are working at the same time, creating this really unique blend of effects.
So which one is more important, the aftertaste or the potency? Well, as this quote shows so beautifully, the answer is, it depends. There's no single rule. And that's the real genius of Ayurveda. It's holistic. It understands that every single herb and food is this unique combination of qualities. It's about seeing the whole picture, not just one little piece of it.
Okay, so we've explored Vipaka and Virya, but you might be thinking, why does any of this matter to me? Well, it matters because this ancient wisdom gives us a much richer, more complete way of understanding how food actually works in our bodies and affects our overall health.
So let's just recap this amazing journey our food takes. It all starts with that initial taste, right? But that's just the very beginning. Then, the magic of digestion transforms that taste into its final aftertaste, its vipaka, which has this deep, permanent effect. And then on top of all that, the food's innate hot or cold energy, its virya, adds a whole other layer of action. It's such a complex and beautiful system.
You know, the initial taste of a food is really just the tip of the iceberg. It's what you see on the surface. But the real power, the real influence, that's all hidden underneath, in the depths of vipaka and virya. And when we understand these deeper qualities, we can make smarter choices about what we eat, choosing things that are going to truly nourish and support us for the long haul.
So the next time you sit down to eat, I want you to just take a second and think beyond that immediate taste. What's the hidden story of the food on your plate? What secret transformations is it about to go through inside you? And what lasting effects is it going to leave behind? It's a question that can totally change the way you eat and maybe even